Her dogs were the first sign. Marie had 3 dogs. They were working dogs, not the kind that bark at the shadows. They went silent at 11:47 on a Tuesday in October. All 3 of them, at the same second, sitting upright facing the same window. All of them. Outside, the October wind had stopped. The October wind in Arizona does not normally stop. It did that night. Marie's grandmother walked in from the back room. She didn't ask, she knew. She loaded 3 shells into her shotgun that was under her bed. She then said a word in Navajo that Marie had never heard before. What you're about to hear is a dramatization. The names have changed, the location has changed, but the events stay the same. Andrew here for Permanent Underclass, where we explore the weird stuff your therapist would tell you to avoid. The, oh cool, now I'll never sleep again side of reality. If you're easily scared, easily offended, or easily anything, you're in the wrong place. You don't say the name out loud. Not to outsiders, not at night, not in the same room as children. The rules exist for a reason. The Navajo don't have one name for it. They have several depending on what it's doing and how close it is to you. The most common is a word that I can't pronounce, Naaldlooshii. Translated literally, it means it goes on all 4s. It's not a creature in the way you mean a creature. It's a type of witch, a person who has done something wrong, and so wrong that they aren't a person anymore. They wear the skin of animals and they become those animals and they follow people home. 3 families broke the rules at once, each across a different decade, each in a different state where the 4 corners of the states all meet. Each of them was told afterwards the same thing. You don't say the name, you don't tell anyone what you saw, and I'm going to tell you what they saw now. Marie did not understand the word. She understood the face. Her grandmother set the shotgun down on the table and walked to the fireplace. She reached into the cold ashes with her bare hands and she pulled up a fistful of ashes and she pressed it against Marie's forehead, then her own, then the threshold of every door in the house. She didn't explain why she was doing it. She didn't take a look at Marie, and the dogs still had not moved. They were still upright and still facing that window. Her grandmother picked up the shotgun and she walked to the porch. Marie watched from inside the house. Her grandmother stood with the shotgun raised. She was speaking loudly in Navajo. Marie did not understand any of the words, but she understood the feeling, the cadence of what was being said. Her grandmother was telling something to leave, the way you tell a stranger to get off of your property, not pleading, ordering. There was a shape at the edge of the yard. Marie thought at first it was a dog, then it was a bigger than a dog, then it was standing on 2 legs, then it was on all 4s again. It moved between those shapes the way water moves between cups. Whatever was wearing the shape did not seem fully committed to any of them. Her grandmother fired 1 shot, then 2 times more. The shotgun was loud in a way that made the dogs flatten against the floor in fear. The shape did not run away. The shape was just gone. There was no movement between standing there and not being there. It just disappeared. The grandmother stayed inside. She closed every curtain in the house. She took the 3 dogs into the back room with her, and she took Marie with her. She locked the door, and she did not sleep that night. Neither did Marie sleep that night. The wind didn't start back up, not until dawn. At first light, her grandmother made a phone call. 2 sentences, and then she hung up. A medicine man arrived before the sun had cleared in the house. He carried a small bundle with him, cedar, sage, an eagle feather. He moved through every room of the house slowly and prayed in Navajo. He passed the edge of the feather through the cedar smoke and over Marie's shoulders, over her grandmother's shoulders, and over each dog. He gave Marie an arrowhead. He gave her a leather pouch, and he told her what was inside. corn pollen. He told her to keep it on her body until she was old enough to forget it. Then he sat with her at the kitchen table. He did not tell her what had been outside, nor did he say its name. He told her 3 things. 1, don't say its name. 2, don't tell anyone what you saw. And 3, don't ever look for it again. Travis was 31 years old when it happened to him. He was not the kind of man who believed in anything he couldn't shoot. He was renting a small place outside Gallup in New Mexico. July 2004, the reservation started about 4 miles back from his fence, and he liked it that way. It was a quiet country, cheap rent, nobody asking questions about the locked cabinet in his hallway. His Navajo neighbors told him stories. He laughed at them politely. He liked his neighbors. He did not care for their stories. He liked them less after the events of that night. It was just past midnight. Travis heard the dogs first. Not his own. He didn't have any dogs. The neighbors' dogs, 2 of them, going at each other in the back of his field. The kind of sound you don't ignore in country where every animal you own has a market value and a coyote can kill 3 sheep in under a minute. He grabbed his 12 gauge from the cabinet. He stepped into a pair of boots without lacing them up, and he walked out into the field. 2 shapes were maybe 40 yards out fighting, or what looked like fighting. Travis raised the shotgun and started towards them. He told the story afterwards like this. He thought, great, 2 for 1. Perfect. He pumped the shell into the chamber of his shotgun, and then both shapes stopped entirely. Both shapes looked at him. Both shapes stood up, and they did not run on 4 legs. They ran on 2 legs, upright, fast, like a man. But not like men, because no man moves like that across uneven ground in the dark. They did not look back. They did not slow at the fence line. They went over it without breaking stride. The fence was 4 feet of barbed wire. They covered 50 yards before Travis remembered how to lower his gun. He did not fire his gun. He said later he forgot he was even holding a gun. He stood in the field for how long he doesn't even know, with his shotgun in his hands, the night putting itself back together around him. He walked back to the house. He did not turn off the porch light, and he did not sleep. Quick break from the story. If you're still here, you're the audience. Hit like and subscribe and keep watching for free. He drove to his neighbor's house, Travis, at 6 a.m, his Navajo neighbors. The older one. He didn't knock the door. He waited on the porch until the man came out with 2 cups of coffee. Travis told him what he'd seen. His neighbor handed him the coffee. He sat down on the steps next to Travis. He didn't look surprised. He didn't look afraid. He said one thing. You don't talk about it. Travis asked if there was anything he should do, sage, prayer, anything. His neighbor said, you already did the wrong thing. You named it in your head when you saw it. The only thing left now is to stop talking about it. Travis's neighbor took the cup of coffee back and he went inside. Travis got in his truck and drove home. Travis still lives in Gallup. He sold the rental that fall and he bought a place 2 hours north with no field behind it and no neighbors who tell the stories. He still has a 12 gauge gun. He still has not fired it once since 2004. Ray was 26 years old. He had been with the Navajo National Police for 14 months when the call came in. Sheep killings in southern Utah. A ranch about 20 miles east of where the national border, Glen Canyon. The owner counted 9 dead sheep before he'd called it in. Ray drove out alone. That was normal. The nation covers more than 27,000 square miles. 2-officer response was a luxury you got at the academy and forgot about within a year. He arrived a little after 10 in the morning. The owner met him at the gate. The owner was Navajo. The owner did not want to walk back out to the field with him at all. He just pointed. He said, "It's all the way in the back," he said. "I'll make some coffee." Ray walked out alone. 9 sheep, the owner had said. Ray counted 11. That was the first thing. The second thing was how they had been killed. Not torn, not eaten. Their throats were open in a way that did not match anything Ray had ever seen in his life. Not coyote, not mountain lion, not a knife. The cuts were clean. The blood was already gone from the ground, like someone had drained them and then placed it all back when they fell. The third thing was the tracks. There were 2 sets of tracks. The first was a 4-legged animal. Wrong proportions for a coyote, wrong weight for a wolf, and Utah does not have wolves anyway. The second was 2 legs. Both sets had the same stride. They left the same prints where the first set ended. The second set started. There was no transition, no drag, no moments where one became the other, just a pivot, as if whatever had made them switched gears mid-step. Ray stood in the field for a long time. Then he photographed everything. He took out his reporting pad. He wrote down what he had saw. He used the words 4-legged and 2-legged because no other words were accurate. When he drove back to the station that evening, he typed it all up and he attached the photographs to his field report. His senior officer called him into the back office 20 minutes later. He had been on the force for 31 years. He was 63 years old. He was supposed to retire in the spring. He shut the office door behind Ray. He didn't sit down. Ray did not sit down either. He said, "I read your report, Ray." Ray said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You're going to mark it as wildlife." Ray started to answer. He raised his hand. He said, "This isn't about what you saw. I believe what you saw. I've seen what you saw. This is about what reads in the report after we file it. The federal database, insurance investigators, reporters, people who do not have any business knowing what gets reported on this nation. Do you understand?" And Ray, of course, nodded. He said, "Mark it as wildlife. Photographs go in the drawer in this office, not in the file room." Ray asked how many photographs were in that drawer. He looked at him for a moment and then he said that there were enough. Ray went back to his desk. He opened his report. He changed the description to suspected coyote predator. He saved the change and he filed it. He kept his copy of the photographs, and he still has them. They're in a drawer in his own office now. Ray's a senior officer. He has been on the force for 19 years. He has had the same conversation that his senior officer had with him 4 times now, with different new hires. The drawer keeps getting full and fuller of pictures. Marie, a child on a ranch in Arizona in 1989, her grandmother, and a medicine man. Travis, a skeptic with a 12 gauge in New Mexico in 2004, and his Navajo neighbor over morning coffee saw it. Ray, a patrol officer in Utah in 2007, his senior officer as well. 3 witnesses, 3 authority figures, 3 completely different lives. Same instructions. They don't say the name. Don't tell anyone what you saw. Folklore doesn't work like this. Folklore isn't variable. Folklore drifts. Folklore changes from teller to teller, generation to generation, region to region. That's how you know it's folklore. The story kind of changes. It shifts because the thing behind the described doesn't exist outside the telling. What Marie's grandmother told her in 1989 is what Travis's neighbor told him in 2004, and it's what Ray's senior officer told him in 2007. It is what Ray, 19 years later, told 4 new hires. The wording is identical across decades, across families, across institutions, across 2 different languages. Let's be clear about what that means. 3 witnesses received the same instruction from 3 people who had no contact with each other. Marie's grandmother didn't know Travis's neighbor. Travis's neighbor didn't know officers. And by the time Ray became a senior officer, Ray's senior officer had already been retired for years. It's not just folklore. This is a protocol. A protocol is what cultures build to manage a recurring problem. You don't have to develop a protocol for a story. You don't pass down word for word instructions for a thing that never comes back. 3 different witnesses got the same instruction because the people delivering the instruction had delivered it before, and they will deliver it again. What they are managing was not a memory. What they are managing was an ongoing condition. An ongoing condition implies a present tense. It implies that whatever Marie saw, whatever Travis saw, whatever Ray saw, it didn't end. It's still out there. It's still doing what it does. The protocol exists because the protocol is still being used. 3 weeks ago, the federal government actually did something that has never been done before. It moved a permanent science team to Skinwalker Ranch, and this is real. 512 acres across fence land in Utah, 20 miles southwest of Roosevelt, bordered by the Ute reservations, hundreds of miles north of where any encounters in this video ever happened. The team brought a detector array, a Cobran radar, and microchip Doppler tracking, a LiDAR system that maps the eastern Mesa down to 2-centimeter point cloud. They're looking for the wrong thing in the wrong place. The Navajo didn't invite them. The Navajo did not ask for a science team to document the encounters on their land. They have not asked for instruments to be there. They have not asked for federal acknowledgement. That's not because they don't believe in what's happening. They're the only people in North America who has always believed in what's happening. It's because they have been managing it for longer than there's been an English word for it. The protocol doesn't exist to hide the thing. The protocol exists to starve the thing out. You don't say the name because saying the name calls the thing. You don't tell anyone what you saw because telling people what you saw spreads awareness. And awareness is how it travels. You don't go looking for it again because looking is an invitation. The silence isn't ignorance. The silence is the containment strategy. While a federal team in Utah builds an instrument array to detect what they think is localized aerial phenomenon, the Navajo communities across 3 states are doing what they have always done. They're not naming it, they're not calling it, and they're not feeding it. It's the only protocol that has ever worked. And every time someone like Travis says it out loud, even in his head, the protocol gets a little harder to maintain. Marie is 45 now. She lives in Phoenix. She works in a hospital. She has a daughter of her own who's 12. The arrowhead in a small leather pouch is in her purse. She carries it with her every day since 1989. The corn pollen has been replaced 4 times. She knows the protocol for replacing it. There are still rules that Marie keeps. She does not photograph her dog. She does not tell stories about her childhood at parties, and she does not let visitors take photographs of her grandmother's house, which she still owns and has not been able to sell. Marie has not said the name out loud since 1989, not once. Not when she was alone, not when she was drunk, not when she had woken up in the middle of the night certain something was at her window. She knows the word now. She's known it for 37 years. She's never spoken it. Her grandmother lived to be 91 and passed away in 2003. The dogs in her childhood home all died old in their sleep. The grandmother was buried with the eagle feather. Marie still has the arrowhead. She still does not look at the window after dark. If you made it this far without checking behind you, congratulations. If you want more of this, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Permanent Underclass. Like and subscribe.